Welcome to Next Possession.
I'm Troy.
Alongside Corey.
We've got one of the most electric scorers in college basketball. Omaha native and Samford guard, Jadin Booth. Jadin, thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me, fellas. Appreciate it.
So let's just get straight into questions. So Jaden, you grew up playing in Omaha in Kansas West Side. What do people outside Nebraska not understand about how competitive the basketball scene is in Nebraska?
Yeah, I think when you picture Nebraska, I think most people think of it as a football state. At least that's honestly when I was growing up, everyone either played football or they were rooting for the Huskers. And I like to say, I think my era of basketball kind of put Omaha on the map. Obviously, you can go back to like the Central run where they won a bunch of state championships in a row, and they really put hoops on the map for people from Omaha. But I tell people kind of the 2 or 3 years before me and then the 2 or 3 years after me, I think that could be one of the best eras of basketball coming through Omaha. So I like to say Omaha is now a Nebraska, or Nebraska is a hoop state now. And it's definitely kind of blown up since then. So it's been really cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, talk about this season. I mean, it's been a great season for you. I mean, you're leading the nation in 3 pointers made. Like, what goes through every day in training, and what's in your mindset currently?
Yeah, obviously there's a lot of work that goes into it, but I got a lot of great teammates around me, coaches who drop some really good plays for me. But yeah, this year's kind of been a wild roller coaster. I mean, we started off not too great. We kind of dropped a few early on, and then once we got into conference play, we dropped a few early on in conference play, but then we kind of got the ship righted in the right direction. And so the last, like, I think it's 11 games, we've been playing really good basketball. We were able to tie for the second seed for our conference, which is huge. We ended up getting the third seed in the tournament, tied for second overall in the conference. But yeah, I mean, as far as the shooting goes, I mean, there's just a lot of work that goes into it. Every day I'm getting my workout in with one of our assistants. But I mean, I tell people, you just can't overthink it. You got to trust the work you put in. And it's not just like I started working on it this year. Like, it's been years from when I was in third grade. I started shooting and working out. And so it's been a long time coming, but it's been cool to see the results pay off this year.
And Jaden, obviously you're a shooter. When you hit 2 or 3 big threes in a row during a game, the rims start feeling bigger. Or do you keep going on the game with the same mindset?
Yeah, I think for me, when you hit 2 or 3 in a row, you're definitely trying to find that fourth one. You're trying to find another one you can hit. But I always try to make the right play. You kind of just feel the flow of the game. And I think when people get in trouble, that's when they start forcing stuff. And so I think you just got to see where the flow of the game takes you, take what the defense gives you. But you also got to know, like, at some point, your team does need you to hit some shots. So it's kind of a fine balance you got to figure out. But definitely when you hit 2 or 3 in a row, you're trying to get that fourth one up for sure.
And going off that, every shooter has their little heat check moment. What's the craziest heat check you've had, and your coach would not like the shot, but you made it somehow?
Oh man, honestly, since you were my two West Side guys, I'll go back to my senior year. Creighton Prep, we're playing them at home, and that was actually the game I broke the all-time scoring record against them. But I remember I just hit maybe a three the prior possession, but I was hot kind of that whole game, and we were kind of killing Prep at this point. But I can remember it still. Prep shot a three in the corner, hits the side of the backboard, and the gym kind of erupts, kind of like the air ball thing, and I get the outlet pass, and we're up a good bit. I just hit one the possession before, so I'm feeling it. I remember I just came down, just crossed half court. I'm behind the volleyball line, and I just let it go. I hit it. It was one of those where it's kind of like chill out, but it goes in. I remember the student section, everyone just started running. It was crazy, but that's one that comes to mind all the time of like a certain heat check moment. I thought that was cool, just the West Side days.
Are you still boys with Carl Brown to this day?
Carl is my absolute guy. Yeah, he helps work my camp.
Yeah, I remember him
Yeah,
sitting there.
I
I
do
remember him
remember
sitting there. Yeah.
Yeah, he works my camp every summer. Even when I wasn't able to be there this past year, he was up there. But he actually lives in Florida, so whenever this season's over and I move back, we'll definitely be linked up. But yeah, we're always talking to each other. That's definitely one of my brothers.
And here's the thing I have, or a question for you is, you start at UNO, you go to D2, and then you come back to D1. What are your thought and mindset doing all that? 'Cause Florida Southern ended up, I don't know personally, but from the stat sheet, looking like a really good decision you made.
Yeah, that whole process was just crazy. I really believe like God is gonna put you in positions where you're gonna go places you might not think you should go, but in the end, it's always gonna work out. And so yeah, I mean, going to Omaha my first year, I was super excited. And obviously that was COVID year. I didn't have a true college experience. We weren't winning games, and so I'll never speak bad about Omaha. It just wasn't the best situation for myself. And kind of at that point in my life, I kind of wanted to get out of Omaha and maybe see what else was out there. And so got connected to Florida Southern. And I went on my visit and fell in love with Florida itself. You know, you don't have to worry about snow or nothing. And so went down there, and obviously it's a winning program, and so that's what I was looking for. I just wanted to win again, and I kind of lost the joy of the game at Omaha, and so I wanted to get that back. Winning has a lot to do with that. So go to Florida Southern, and yeah, end up having a great career there. Really found myself again in terms of just loving basketball. But yeah, had a lot of great relationships there. We won a lot of games. Yeah, was able to do some really cool things personally. And then obviously I had a COVID year, and then I tore my knee down there, so I had 2 extra years, and so I was able to come up to Samford or this year, and it was the best decision I probably could have made. You know, when people go in the portal, they always think the grass is greener on the other side, and most of the times it really doesn't work out for people. But I definitely hit a home run for choosing Samford, and super grateful that I'm here.
What do you think of UNO's tournament run? Like them making March for the first time in school history. Was it last year?
Yeah, against
Yeah,
Shams. Yeah.
That was awesome. But
Yeah, that was really cool. I mean, obviously, I mean, that's why I went to Omaha. I wanted to help them, get there. But, seeing Coach Crutchfield do that, and I knew some of the guys on the team that were able to go to the tournament. So, yeah, that was really cool. I'm glad Omaha was finally able to get over the hump. They deserve that. I always tell people, like, Omaha should win that conference every single year. One, I think it's the best city within that conference, so it should be the easiest to recruit to. And
Hmm.
then, I mean, you think about, I mean, I know we just talked about kind of the Omaha pipeline for basketball, but like, man, you could get so many good recruits just from your own city. And so I think that's something that Omaha needs to take advantage of, and they could really make a name for themselves in the Summit League, or even maybe try and jump a league. But yeah, I'm super happy for them.
And also going back to that Florida Southern development, I mean, did they develop you as a player, but also a lot in the mindset too? Because after Omaha, it sounded like you weren't enjoying the game. So I feel like, based on what you said, Florida Southern development, not only in the game but mentally too, helped you a lot.
For sure. And I think a lot of it has to do with opportunity. I mean, obviously, you come in as a freshman, you're probably not going to get the big minutes that you're hoping to get. And so I think what comes with that is experience and just trying to find your role. And so even my first year at Florida Southern, I think I averaged a little under 8 points a game. Maybe played 20 minutes a game. So still, I really didn't have a huge role. But, I just stuck with it. And I think that's something kids need to learn today is like, you just got to stick with it because eventually your time will come if you put in the work. And so that following year, my coach really wanted me to have a bigger role for that year, and so I took that personally over the summer. I worked out a ton. Some of you guys, you might know Dylan Travis. I worked out with him almost every day that summer. Got a lot better with him. But then, I mean, I worked out with my brother. My brother's you guys probably know him, Jevin. He's a huge reason why I'm the player I am today. And then one of our assistants at Florida Southern, he worked me out every day once I got down there. And so there's a whole bunch of people that come into the picture in terms of just the development. But I think a lot of that too has to come with opportunity. I had a much bigger opportunity that next year. And so I definitely took advantage of that and made the most of it.
Yeah, 100%. And now that you're in college and NIL is taking a huge leap, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I like it because I think we should get paid. But I think, yeah, it's a can of worms. I think there needs to be something that structures it a lot more. I mean, even from my own experience from being in the portal, I mean, these people are promising you stuff that isn't even real. Like you have to have a good head on your shoulders to understand like half the things some of these coaches and even these agents are telling you are just completely false. And so that's why I think like you have to have just some wisdom or just just knowledge going into the portal or whatever school you're trying to go to. Like you really got to know what you're looking for, why you want to go there. But at the same time, you do have to know your self-worth because that's just a part of it now. So I think there's just a fine line you got to be careful of. I don't think you should go try and chase the money. I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, I didn't go and chase the money, and I think it worked out to the best of my ability. And so I think I think it's great that athletes are being paid. I just think there needs to be a little more structure to it. So people aren't getting lied to for one. And I think a whole thing of it too is like obviously college basketball is a business, but like we played this game because we love this game. And so we shouldn't feel this pressure now that we have a price tag next to our name to be this certain type of player, you know? Like we still just want to go out, love the game, win ball games with some of our best friends and like win championships. Like that's what it's all about. And so I think the players just got to stop getting caught up in the numbers. But at the same time, it's really hard when you're getting thrown money around that's just ridiculous and hard to turn down. So it's just a fine line, man. Who knows what really needs to happen?
And when I was telling Troy the other day, my ideal like transfer portal situation is, let's say like Alabama goes and takes a player from Samford, so Samford doesn't like suffer from a loss of a player and no money from it. Alabama should have to pay some of the money they were going to give to the player to the school, so then they could go out and get a replacement. Like I think that would solve the issue pretty well.
Yeah, it's funny. It might have been one of my assistants. He said that's kind of the format because I think the EuroLeague does that. When you want to trade for a player, they have to buy out the contract essentially. And so I think one of my assistants mentioned that a lot of the coaches want to implement that in the college, which I think that's probably the best thing. It's fair for the mid majors because obviously with all this money, like mid majors aren't making it to March Madness anymore because they're not getting the best players and all those things. And that's the stuff that like when the mid majors are in March Madness, the low majors, like that's what makes March Madness March Madness. And that's
Exactly.
So yeah, I definitely think that could be really, really smart.
Yeah, and also, so like going back on that March Madness thing, like last year, like you had what, Sweet 16, Arkansas, they're the 10 seed. They're not even mid-major. They're SEC.
Exactly.
It's stuff like that. That's why they need to switch things
It's
up.
15 seed St. Peter's and the 14 seed Oakland, and that's what makes March great. Jadin, going back to your 40-point game on senior night, when you're just having a big night scoring like that, are you actively hunting shots or are you just letting the game come to you?
Yeah, that's funny because I remember about halfway through that game, I felt like I was shooting a lot. And me personally, as crazy as it sounds, I hate shooting too much. Like, I really want to make the right play, get my teammates involved. But obviously, I know that my team's probably better off if I'm shooting. And so, in that game, I was definitely trying to hunt shots because I knew honestly, it was just the way Greensboro was playing us. I knew I could get a lot of open shots. And so, I was hunting shots, but also just trying to make the right play. So my teammates found me almost every possession. Coaches drew up really good plays, and I was fortunate to knock down a couple of them.
Yeah, I mean, also, all right, so the final question we got for you is you're building a realistic 5-man lineup of shooters, including yourself. Who are the other 4 guys you're putting around and why?
Okay. I got to include myself, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'll be the 2. One will be Steph, obviously greatest shooter of all time. Why wouldn't you put him in there? Klay Thompson, I think he's got the purest form of all time. I know he hasn't been shooting it great, but take the last couple of years out, he's still one of the greatest shooters of all time. I might throw y'all off with this, but he might be my favorite player right now in the NBA because LeBron's kind of getting out of there. Con Knipple, I gotta put him on there.
Wow, I like that.
I'm a big Hornets guy because Cole Critter's on the
yeah.
I like it. I gotta put Knipple in there. He plays the game the right way. He's super consistent and he plays defense. I think when it's said and done, he will be one of the greatest shooters of all time. I got one more, right?
Yeah.
Man, there's a lot of people that can go in this spot. I guess for the sake of a 5, I'll go a big man. I'll go Dirk Nowitzki for that number 5. I think he instilled like the big man having a jumper, I think he was kind of the catalyst for that. I mean, I felt like I'm a big LeBron guy, so watching them and the Heat go at it in the finals, I can remember him hitting that 1-foot Dirk and it never touched the rim. So yeah, I would have to go Dirk, Con, me, Steph, and Klay Thompson for my 5.
All right, Jadin. Well, we really appreciate you coming on, and we wish you the best of luck. And watch out for these. Watch out for Samford. Watch out for the Samford team.
They didn't work.
Let's do it. All right. Hey, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. Good luck the rest of the season.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.